I've got some election analysis for you. Thanks for joining me. Mike Adams here of the Health Ranger Report, founder of Real.video, publisher of Trump.news, and many other websites. So if the election were held today, and I'm recording this, by the way, on, Saturday, the Hurricane Florence day. Oh my, I pray for all those people impacted by the hurricane. If the election were held today, I'm convinced that Democrats would pick up 40 seats in the House. And there are a number of reasons for that. But I don't think that that's what's actually going to happen, because there are some bombshell things that are coming out that are real game changers. And I think that we have to reassess all the predictions and the analysis after these bombshells come out. And so one of the bombshells is James O'Keefe at Project Veritas has something big that's about to come out that will expose the deep state conspiracy coup against President Trump. And I haven't seen it myself, but I'm told by people close to O'Keefe that it's a very big deal. They've seen it, and they say it's a game changer, and it's going to change the entire conversation around the witch hunt for trying to bring down President Trump. The second thing that's probably going to come out sometime in the coming week is that President Trump can declassify much of the FISA warrant documentation, the fraudulent effort to get this spying approved under the Obama administration to spy on American citizens who were close to President Trump. In fact, the entire Robert Mueller investigation is a massive fraud. The whole thing was built on a fraud, a treasonous fraud perpetrated by James Comey, who frankly should be in prison, along with many other deep state operators who committed treason and violated federal laws and carried out, frankly, a lot of quite heinous crimes in their effort to overthrow a duly elected president. So that's coming out as well. There are whistleblowers who are prepared to join in that as soon as the lid is blown off the top of it. So in other words, when Trump declassifies certain documents, there will be other whistleblowers, I'm told, inside the FBI who will come forward and reveal information or testify before Congress that will add to the revelations of massive deep state fraud and criminality. Now, if even some of this happens, then these are game changers for the election. And even if the media chooses not to cover any of this, they can't cover it up because there are so many other channels now where people get information. And by the way, the New York Times is complicit in some of this, and so is the Washington Post. There are criminal, treasonous elements inside both the New York Times and the Washington Post who have committed massive felony crimes as part of their effort to pretend to be journalists so they could take down the president. And if even some of that is exposed, that it's going to be, the impact on the election will be absolutely massive. So the truth here is that, again, if the election were held today, the Democrats would win the House, almost certainly. But there are big things that are going to change between now and then, and some of those are things that I just mentioned, and there are probably others that we don't even know about. We've got 50 plus days before the election, and things can happen. Things can change overnight. There could be information released 3 days before the election. This thing isn't over until the election day, and almost anything can happen between now and then, including, by the way, false flag attacks, attempted assassinations of President Trump, which might actually work in his favor if he survives it. There's a deep state effort to try to kill him. I mean, for real, that's actually part of what they want to do. There's another effort to remove him via the 25th Amendment. There's another effort to stage a false flag attack and blame Trump supporters and blame people like Alex Jones and blame gun owners and so on. There are so many different agendas and plots underway right now. There are sections of the or fringe elements of the FBI that are 100% anti-America, anti-Trump, willing to do anything it takes, they think, to uh, to overthrow this president. But there are other factions within the FBI that are pro-Trump and pro-America. So even within agencies, within the DOJ, within the FBI, within all of these agencies and layers of the State Department and the White House cabinet, and it is just on and on. The Department of Homeland Security. There are elements that are pro-Trump and there are elements that are anti-Trump. So there's a real civil war underway inside, deep inside, even in the Pentagon. And I believe that America has a good shot at surviving this. I believe that Trump can pull through as long as he doesn't give in. His family is being death threatened every day. Even people who aren't direct family, but sort of related to his family, they're being death threatened. I have no doubt that this so-called accusation against Brett Kavanaugh, which was made by a woman who says that he and a friend inappropriately touched her in high school, if you can believe that. Because, oh my God, nobody ever had any inappropriate touching ever in high school. I mean, give me a break. High school. Kids do crazy things when they're 16, 17, 18. Give me a break. But I have no doubt that she was either bribed or threatened to step forward with this false accusation. And by the way, there are 65 other men and women who have signed a letter saying that they knew Brett Kavanaugh when he was in high school and he was the most upstanding person ever, that he would never do anything like that. So one person makes an accusation, 65 people say, nope, that's not the Brett Kavanaugh we know. And once again, the deep state has resorted to desperate, dishonest measures to try to block a conservative from coming into power in the U.S. Supreme Court. And by the way, Kavanaugh's confirmation is critical to all of this. In my analysis, I'm convinced that President Trump has been holding back on many things, waiting for Kavanaugh to get into the Supreme Court, which happens October 1st, I believe, or maybe it's the first week of October. I think it's the 1st. Once he is in place, Trump has more protection about releasing classified documents, for example, because if there's any challenge, the challenges would go to an emergency session of the Supreme Court. And Kavanaugh, not that Kavanaugh has Trump's back or anything like that, because that's not the kind of guy he is. Kavanaugh is not a pro-Trump person. Kavanaugh is a pro-Constitution person, period. In fact, he would rule against Trump if Trump violated the Constitution. I have no doubt about that. Kavanaugh is 100% dedicated to the United States Constitution and has zero loyalty to Trump, which is fine. We don't need somebody who's got loyalty to Trump. We just want somebody who's got loyalty to America, loyalty to the law, because the law says that the executive leader, which is President Trump right now, has many different powers. And when he invokes those powers, there are other lower court judges, like district court judges, that are going to try to block it, as they have done in many cases in the last 2 years. And some of that's going to get kicked up to the Supreme Court, and Kavanaugh will help render decisions that affirm the executive power of people like President Trump in the context, especially of national emergencies. So get ready, folks, because there's some major things coming. And let me throw some phrases at you here just to give you an idea. Military tribunals, martial law, declarations of national emergencies, war powers acts, state of war powers, powers that the executive has in states of war, emergency sessions in the Supreme Court, massive radical left-wing riots across America, big bombshells, whistleblowers coming out, deep state operatives being arrested by military MPs, military personnel who are carrying out military justice. And again, military tribunals. This is what's coming, in my assessment. I mean, get ready. It's going to be a wild ride. But now you know a little bit of what's coming. So just pay attention, Keep listening to my podcast on Real.video. Read my website, naturalnews.com. And you can also check out Trump.news for updates that involve President Trump himself. Thanks for listening. Be safe.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.